So the next thing is hammer-ons and pull-offs. What is a hammer-on? What is a pull-off? Well, let's say you had the same two notes. So we had 5 and 7, and we wanted to get them without picking them and without sliding. We wanted a different type of embellishment. The first embellishment, the logical way, would be a hammer-on. So what that is you're picking the first note, and you're going to hammer. In this case, we'll use the third finger. You're going to hammer the third finger into the string itself at the 7th fret without picking it. It's like doing an ollie on a skateboard, kind of. Probably relates to like 3 of you, but kicking the back foot down, it becomes a reflex. At first it takes a lot of effort, but then it becomes very reflexive, and it's just something that happens. So you have to get used to it. And again, you want to target the fret perfectly. You don't want to be in the middle because you'll lose the sound. You have to be quick. You should be getting the same volume level, most of it at least, as you did from the picked note. And you shouldn't, as you train with this, you want to start to do it with the least amount of force possible. No, I mean, you're probably going to start and it's going to feel like a lot of work, but I want you to just remember to relax throughout the process as you get used to hammering on. Now, the inverse of that would be a pull-off. So let's say you wanted to go from 7 to 5. Well, what you could do is that, and there is actually another step in this, is you'd be pulling off. You'd pick the 7, and you would pull that third finger off. But in order to get 5, you already need to have your first finger on the 5th fret on that string, or as you pull off, you'll get the open string or you'll get something else. So you kind of have to plan ahead with the pull-off. You have to have your finger ready on the note you're going to pull off to. Now there's another element of the pull-off that's more difficult, which is to get the sound. Like if you start to pull off and you get something that sounds like, and that's very, very common, or you kind of have the essence of the note, but there's no volume to it, and something's definitely wrong. What's going on is that you're just lifting your finger off, but you absorbed all the impact of the string, the vibration of the string, and so it couldn't ring at the 5th fret. What you have to do as you pull off is you need to, and this is kind of weird, but you need to actually pull downwards a little bit, and that's going to be hard to see on video, but you almost need to scoop down and around with the flesh of your finger. You need to hook your finger on the string, and you pull down ever so slightly, and it actually re-rings the string as if it was picked, but it's kind of picked with the pad of that third finger, just hooking on the string enough to re-ring it. It's a very touch-sensitive thing. You get used to it based on feel, and you start to learn exactly what it takes. And you kind of notice that it doesn't really, it's not really dependent on the previous note, because the volume's created as you release this finger and restrike as you do your pull off. A little bit of it is, I guess, but the majority of it is when you're through the technique of actually doing the pull-off. Now the uses of hammer-ons and pull-offs in playing are incredibly valuable, because when you think about it, let's say you were to do this on 2 strings. So you did the 5th fret and the 7th fret on the 4th string and on the 3rd string. Let's say those were our notes. Instead of picking everything, in which case the attack sounds perfectly even, or rather it's the same exact way the string is being presented, if you hammered, you can tell that the 2nd and the 4th note sound smoother than they did before. If you pick, everything is very percussive. and slightly punchier than but if you do pull-offs, it starts to smooth out the playing, which is very good, you know, in like fast scenarios where there's a lot of notes and you don't want to hear, you know, you want it to sound a little smoother. Now you can do chaining too. You can do things like a hammer-on and a pull-off together. Maybe pivot from another note. There's all sorts of ways to start using these. You just have to absorb all these techniques until they become very second nature.